I'm Jonathan Mass with Sedgwick, and we're honored to be here today in San Diego. We've been attending the 2016 RIMS conference, and we are now visiting with Bob McElroy, President and CEO of Alpha Project, and we're sitting here in front of Alpha Square. And today we've talked about making a donation on behalf of Sedgwick, but what's really important is the mission. Yes, the mission that you guys are accomplishing. So Bob, I'll just let you take it away and tell the audience, why is this so amazing?
Well, this is the new national initiative. It's called the Permanent Supportive Housing Act, 25 Cities Initiative, and it's really what HUD's behind now. No more shelters, no more transitional housing, which kind of perpetuated homelessness by really not offering solutions. What this is this building is built specifically for the most infirm, the most elderly, the folks that have been on the streets the longest, some folks over 20 years, the most frequent users of emergency rooms that all the taxpayers pay for. And it's a safe place for folks to be their own house. They can live here forever, or hopefully they get involved in our jobs programs, and over a period of time we get them more income coming in so they can change it to something better. But most of the folks that are here are going to tell you they don't want to move anywhere else. You can see it doesn't look like a low-income housing project. It's an interactive program where we have all of our client services in the building. As I said, these are the most infirm. Virtually everybody in this building, the 201 men and women that we have in here, are over 60 and trapped in some form of mental illness. When I say trapped, whether born with or acquired, we can manage it, hopefully, but you're not going to cure it for folks. And so they have time here to literally distill or detox from the streets, move into their own place with all their support services here, all their nurses, all their case managers, their psychiatric case managers, computer labs, family reunification programs. We can get the families back involved, and they're proud to have their families. Some over 20 years, I hadn't seen their families over 20 years because they didn't want their families come see them in a shelter somewhere. They come to a beautiful building that's their home and reunite and start rebuilding the burned bridges, as it were, that many of our folks have experienced with their families over the decades. So, as I said, whether you care about homeless people or not, we all both want the same thing. We don't want homeless people on the streets. Some people for different reasons. They're a burden, they're an eyesore. We don't want them on the streets because they're human beings. And I've 30 years of doing this, I've never met anybody that's told their dad or their mom when they were 6 years old, when I grow up, I want to be homeless, or I want to be crazy. And it gives our people opportunities here to experience empowerment, to be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. And it literally saves the taxpayers $20, $30 million a year by having these folks inside as opposed to outside.
And you hit on a great topic. I mean, say that again. How much money is saved by having this?
Just this population here that's in this building, 200 people, about $20 to $30 million a year. Because they're primary care physicians. When you're on the street, and we have many people who are diabetic. They obviously don't have access to refrigeration. They can't refrigerate their insulin and their other medications. They get sick. They get gangrenous, hands and feet. They go to the emergency room. They have seizures. They go to the emergency room, and they're placed back on the street with these infirmities. Well, who pays for that? The taxpayers pay for that. And so now in the building here, we can manage their medications. We can manage their health and get people healthy again, so they're not part of the burden, they're part of the solution.
And talk about this building. You were telling us earlier about its certification and how it makes use of basically everything that comes in and out, nothing's wasted.
Yeah, it's a green building. We designed the building here that when it does rain in San Diego 2 or 3 times a year, everything comes off the building. It's filtered through our plant system. We have extensive 2 parks in the building, and it goes back in the storm drains just as clean as it was when it hit the building. We have micro enterprise in front of the building over here. We're going to have our pizza shop, and we're going to have a salon for our ladies, and our folks in the building will be able to participate in those businesses. We have a huge kitchen where we're going to teach our folks how to, like me, how to burn bread. Culinary classes where they can be part. As I said, they have purpose.
Right.
You'll see our building. There's no cigarette butts. There's nothing on the floors. The windows are all clean because our people are asking for chores to do, and they participate in the upkeep of the building. And it's really a communal situation. Everybody has ownership in this building. If they abuse it, they're going to lose it. So they take care of it. And you know, to wake up in the morning, many of our people have always been so disenfranchised, nobody's ever told them that they can be part of something, and they can belong to something, and they can give back to something. And we give those folks purpose here. But this is their building, and we're going to have bingo in here. As I said, we're going to have our job training in here, and everybody will have a chance to participate in some way.
And the thing is, this is a model that people are now looking at to come to you, and that can be taken and put in other parts of the United States. And so we shared earlier, we're here in a business that sometimes may seem cold and uncaring, but I know many people have been impacted this week. And so in our business, we also deal with trying to make people whole again, you know, stopping the things before it happens, whether that's opioid addiction or whatever. And so your model, I think anyone watching this can agree that it's a win-win. It brings people together. And so I know at Sedgwick, you know, we're hoping to get others to take up the challenge and donate and support this course. And so I think it's fantastic. We're getting ready to take a tour and look at some of the stuff. But last thing, just you talked about how some of these people for the first time have shelter, and just, you know, talk about the rooms that they get to have and call their own.
Yeah, you know,
this out.
You can see that we actually get to see one of the rooms, I guess, but if you look at the rendering over, the rooms are 260 square feet. But for an SRO, a single room occupancy, that's a pretty good size. Some folks will say, you know, wow, 260 square feet, my bathroom's bigger than that. Well, our folks have been living in bushes and under bridges for 20 plus years. This is the Taj Mahal. They each have their own kitchenette, full screen, or full-size refrigerators, computer station, flat screen TV, and their own bathroom, which is the gold standard. Their own shower, their own sink, their own toilet. They don't have to share it down the hall like the traditional shelters and stuff where you really have to put your dignity and any kind of self-respect on the shelf. And it's their own place. And you'll see lots of dogs and a few cats and some goldfish. Those are family members to our folks. That's been their only friend many times, especially for our ladies. You know, on the streets, and their only companion. And many facilities won't let them in if they don't have a medallion that says they're a service animal. Well, they're a family member. They're welcome here too. You don't hear any yipping or barking. They're held under the same standard. Respect the facility, respect the place, respect your neighbors, and you're going to get respect in turn. So, as I said, we were talking earlier. It's a huge transition. If I've been under a bush or under a bridge for 20 years and now I've got my own place, we took 50 veterans right away, right into the building. These men and women have been out there a long time, and they couldn't believe that they have their own place that belongs to them, and nobody's going to take it away from them. So that makes your hair stand up.
Well, Bob, we appreciate it, and I know again we're looking forward to being a part of this and coming back in a few months and seeing how the pizza shop is doing.
Come get some pizza.
Come buy some pizza, and we'll make sure it's out. But we appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. God bless.
Thanks.